to my channel if this is your first video. This is one of those special unboxing editions of Fred Makes Things that I call Fred Tries Things. So I just received this box in the mail just, I don't know, 20 minutes ago or so. It's my Christmas gift from one of my family members in Canada, and I'd never heard of this subscription box before, so I thought I'd unbox it on camera with you guys and see what it looks like, see what it's all about, give my opinions, and go from there. Like always, all I've done is sliced open here so that it's easy to open, but I haven't actually opened the box. I haven't even looked at what this box is. Like, I kind of take a cursory look online, but I didn't do any deep dives or anything like that. So I don't know pricing or frequency or anything like that. I'll have to pop it up all on the screen as I'm editing it to find out, or to let you all know, I should say. All right, here we go. Okay, so it looks like it's a little project box. And it looks like this is going to be a little sewing wallet. Cool. Okay, so we have a machine quilting glove. Never heard of this. Cool. And then I'm guessing these are all like the little project pieces. That's cute. And then the batting. Okay, so it looks like everything is in here to make the okay. So this looks like it's the January 2021 box. Looks like I have all the things that I need to make one sewing wallet, and the instructions. Okay, I don't know what else to say right now. The next clip is going to be me putting it together, and then after that I'm going to give my thoughts on how it went, whether or not I liked it or not. This is kind of a cool little box. Kind of happy that I got sent this, just because, yeah, I've never heard of it. It'd be cool to expand my sewing skills. All right, stay tuned for the next clip. Hello, I'm back. It's been about 2 weeks since I did my unboxing. It took me a couple of days to get around to making the project. I decided to go out and buy a few supplemental items, like a proper quilting ruler, cutting ruler thing, and a larger cutting mat. I only have a small cutting mat, and so I decided might as well splurge and finally buy myself a larger mat. So that took me a little bit. And then yeah, and then I started the project. It took me about 3 days to complete from start to finish. My first day was dedicated to cutting out the pieces. My second day was dedicated to sewing most of it together, and then my third day was just finishing it up, sewing it all together, doing the final finishing, stitching, things like that. I took notes so that I'm a bit more clear in my discussions of things than I normally am. So first I wanted to talk about the instructions. I went online and I watched their online tutorial. First, it was about an hour and 20 minutes, and that was really informative and really helpful, helped me make better sense of the sewing instructions. I like the sewing instructions for the most part. Here they are. My main problem with them, though, is that they're a bit small, and at times I had a hard time following what they were saying. I often got the names for the different pieces confused, and then I had to go back and read and go back and forth, and I eventually ended up turning to the video tutorial a lot. Well, not a lot, I should say, but a few times to really like make me understand what it was that they were suggesting that I do. And then even for part of it, the video tutorial changes from what this says, because this one says that I should, when it's time to start assembling back here, it says that I should start with the exterior, the exterior flap first, like the exterior stuff, this side. I should start sewing this side together before sewing this other side, like the zipper and the zipper pocket, things like that. And so then that was a bit confusing to me, but I figured it out in the end. It's really not that difficult. I will say in the video, the person who was doing it suggested that we label our pieces with like little pieces of paper like this, so that it would help me keep better track of everything. So it's like the name of the piece and then the dimensions in inches, because this whole pattern was done in inches. So like this piece went to this piece, and I kept them together for quite a while until I was comfortable with it. Right, here's this one here, interior body A. I'm guessing that's this pocket or something. Who knows? Who knows what it is now, but at the time they made complete sense to me. So I'm going to keep these little pieces of paper because I am thinking about doing this project again. So yeah, I think that's it that I had to say about the instructions. What was really nice too is that this is the first time that I've ever done a magnetic snap closure. It's the first time, like, I tend to avoid notions in general that I don't quite understand, and I've always kind of avoided snaps, but the online portion of the tutorial where she talked about how to attach these snaps was amazing. It, like, I saw it, made me understand it completely, and I managed to do it from memory rather than from trying to follow an instruction guide, which I think is just awesome. This is also the first time that I ever quilted, and her walking through the quilting process was quite simple and easy to follow too. I don't know if you can see in camera, but I did like large diamonds, kind of large diamonds, which I think turned out really nicely. I'm really proud of them. And how online she explained how to do this too. The box stitch, what do you call it? Ballot box stitch on here. That worked out really nice too. Yeah, so the online tutorial I thought was excellent. I really enjoyed it. If you ever get a Sewers Club box, I highly recommend watching that tutorial first, because it'll help make everything else make sense. They also included, I don't know where I have it, just Oh, it's in here, I think. Yeah, they also included this handmade badge thing. This here, which is really nice. I really like this too, but it wasn't in the instructions, in the paper instructions, so I completely forgot to add it. So if I make another one of these, I'm definitely going to add this little badge, because I think this badge is really cute and I really liked it. It also walked you through on how to do a zipper. This was my second zipper of all time, which I think came out much better than my very first zipper. So this is my second zipper. I probably could be a little tighter to here, but honestly, I'm just so happy that it closes nice and smoothly. The pocket on the inside, for the most part, looks quite nice, works quite well. So yeah, really liked doing that. Really liked doing my first snap closure, my second zipper with this really cute little pull. All of it, just wonderful. All right, now what? All right, so now I'm just going to talk about the construction of this in general. We'll pull those out. So what it is, it's a zippered pocket on this side, right? I have some of my sewing things shoved in here from when I was cleaning up my mess. So I have a zipper pocket in here, right? It's an okay size. Then I have this here, which is a 2 pocket thing with a closure flap and a zipper clip, not a zipper clip band, a quilting clip band, which is quite nice. And then on this side, you just have a really big pocket with another closure, right? And then on the front, you have your snap closure with your little thing that goes like round like so. So yeah, like it's a fairly complicated pattern to follow, honestly. I do sew. I have sewn in the past. I've made like a few things, but I tend to make things out of my own memory rather than following a pattern. And I've never followed a written instructional pattern like this. I've made like a couple pairs of pants, a couple of sweaters. I followed patterns for that, which were standard sewing patterns from like Simplicity or something. I'm not sure. I can't remember where they got them patterns from, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Those patterns were really simple to follow. This one, I don't know. It seems that just because the instructions are so wordy, I don't know. It was just hard. Also, there's what, 8 pages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of instructions. At first it felt very overwhelming. That was until I watched the online tutorial. So that was a bit upsetting. In general construction, like I said, I like the idea of this pocket a lot, or this quilting wallet a lot. I really like these band clips, this band 4 clips. I don't know why I keep saying that wrong. I like these 2 pockets. I like this pocket. The pattern says that these should be the same height, I believe, and they're not. I don't know what I did to make them not the same height, but they're not. They're about what, half an inch different. That doesn't bother me too much. It is what it is. I like the pocket. I like these. I hate these flaps. Absolutely hate them. I didn't cut them very well, it looks like. They sit at the same length, about. That's in the pot. They sit at the same like height, right? They came together fairly easily, but I cut them poorly, it looks like. Sewed them poorly as well, right? This one kind of goes out in this kind of shape, whereas this one is far more square. Don't know how that happened, but it did. Yeah, I hate it. what I think I'm going to do, and I was talking with the person who gave me this because she sews a lot, she got me into sewing, is I'm going to cut these down, I think, and make them like little tiny like catches, so that when you slide something in, like say this, you put it in here and then this would catch and hold it like that. And I think I would like that more, right? If I kind of just cut it down and made like little tiny catches, so that it would like, or catches, holders, whatever, something like this. I think this would look really nice. I think I would like that a lot more than these long ungainly flaps. That's just an aesthetic kind of thing. Yeah. My other problem too is that it's supposed to be like a sewing caddy, right? Or like a sewing wallet for stuff. And I checked with the person who gave this to me, my cousin, and I asked her if the sewing shears that she'd given to me a couple of years ago when I got my sewing machine, if these were like really large or something, and that this was like a problem, because these do not fit anywhere in here that makes me comfortable. So they're too long for these pockets, right? They don't close, right? You can't shift them to make it like more secure, especially with how like this pocket goes in and is over, like is top stitched like that. They don't fit. They do fit in this pocket, sort of, right? But I don't know, not very well. They don't feel secure to me. I don't think I would want to keep my scissors in there like that. I wish there was a spot that was a bit more secure for them. Maybe, yeah, and then see, even if I do the little flap, right, to secure things, they're still not going to sit in there very securely. They're going to be too long. Well, maybe. But yeah, so for me, it's just a little too small. My other problem is that they do give you a lot of extra fabric of this C fabric. Like I have quite a bit of it left over, right? Enough for another mini project or something, I'm guessing. Right, so quite a bit. Enough for something else, which is nice. But they don't give you a lot of this internal fabric or the external fabric. They give you the exact same amount, so you can decide if you want the light stuff on the inside or the dark stuff. So it's nice to have the choice, but the problem is that if you cut this external fabric wrong in any way, you're done. Like that's it. You have to figure out what to do with it, especially after you've quilted it. All right, it's hard to like reassemble a broken piece. And because I learned a long time ago that you never cut fabric when you're tired, because you are liable to make mistakes. I made a mistake. This big one here is 1/4 of an inch too small. So instead of doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance from on all sides, I ended up having to do a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance on one side. And I had to keep reminding myself that there was a 1/4 inch instead of a 1/2 inch, right? Which I know is my fault. I realized that. And then on the interior one, again, I cut it too short. This pocket here, I cut it 1 inch too short, which was okay. I did have enough fabric to fix that. So I just sewed it back together and then recut it so that it was the proper size. So that's great. But if I had done any more major mistakes, I would have either had to continue piecing pieces together or do a new piece of fabric. It's not the end of the world. Don't cut when you're tired and you should be fine. I know this, and yet I still did it anyway. But yeah, so that's just being nitpicky. Now for my pros. My pros outweigh my cons, which is nice. I like the layout of this. Like I said, I don't like the flaps, they're going away. The project instructions were easy to follow. It also comes with a bonus project, which I haven't done yet. That's what this extra fabric was included. It's supposed to make a key fob, like you're supposed to be able to cut this down, right, and then it walks you through how to turn this into kind of like a lanyard style key fob. So I'm going to make that in the future, and when I do my next month's unboxing, maybe I'll have this finished for that. We will see. Like I said, also, there is quite a bit of leftover fabric, right? Especially of this orange stuff. I have enough to make something else out of it. I have a couple of little tiny pieces. I always save my little pieces. I find they come in handy. So I have a few of those pieces. And then I also have a little tiny piece of the interior fabric left as well. Which, again, these always come in handy for me. I'm always finding uses for the little tiny pieces. So I've kept all of those. Yeah, and then, like I said before, I like the little labels that they suggested making to keep all of your cut pieces separate, to make sense of them, which really helps, because I think there was like 14 different pieces of fabric I ended up cutting. I think something like that. I have 2 pieces for the interior pocket. I have 2 pieces of this white fabric for the lining. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, 5 pieces. So 2 and 2 is 4 and 5 is 9. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, this is one giant piece, so that's 10, 11, okay, 12. I cut 12 different pieces, not 14. So for me, that's a lot. And having those little instruction things was really nice. Yeah, so far more pros than cons, which is quite nice. And since this is my first project and I am not an adept sewer, some of this stuff can easily be chalked up to user error. Yeah, so now I'm going to talk about the things that I made mistakes on. I've already mentioned most of them, so this should be quick. So the first thing is that I cut this too small. Like I said, it's 1/4 of an inch too short, so I had to adjust for that. No, look, there are 14 pieces. I had to cut these too. So I cut this one and this one. Vindicated. Anyway, this was too small. I cut the flaps too wonky. And then I don't know how I did it, but this whole corner here is all messed up. So somehow my flap got sewn into it. I don't know. Here, let's try this again. Somehow my flap got sewn into the corner. It should have been over a little bit more. I don't know if this is too wide or what. I don't know how that happened. It bothers me so much. And when you close this up, you can see it. See? And I don't like that. It's another reason I'm thinking of cutting it down, because I don't like it. I did not catch it soon enough for me to be willing to tear it all apart to fix it. By the time that I reached that point, I was done with sewing. I just wanted it to be over. And yeah, so I still don't think I would like the flap even if I had sewn it in properly. It's just an aesthetic thing, like I said. If you knew the person who gave it to me, she would agree with me and say, yep, some people would like it. I would not. And then the last thing is, that I forgot to attach the handmade sign. So yeah. But you know, even with this corner, I knew there was something wrong going on there. I should have stopped. I broke a needle on it, which means I guess I was asking too much of my machine. So I broke one needle, and then 10 minutes later, not even, I broke my second needle. I don't know if you can see that, but I bent it. I bent a needle. I've never bent a needle before. I don't know how I did it, but I did. So yeah, fun times. And it was even during the top stitching. It wasn't like during like the interior or like sewing the two sides together. It was during the top stitching that I broke it. I ended up switching over to a denim needle just to finish this one section because I was frustrated and done and I wanted it to be over. So yeah, explain to me in the comments if you know how I managed to bend that second needle, why I would have bent the first needle, and how I managed to break and bend. Did I say that right? How I managed to break the first needle and then break and bend the second needle. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I did it, but I did. Yeah, so that's basically it for my feedback on this. I thought what I would do next, and to finish it off, is to try to fit as many of my little sewing things into this as I can. I don't have a lot of sewing things, like I'm not an avid sewer. But I thought I'd film to see what I did. And then as I was putting this together, I was thinking that it might be really good to carry my makeup in for traveling. I don't wear a lot of makeup either, but I thought, hey, while I was at it trying to mess with my sewing stuff, I'd mess with my limited makeup supplies and see how much of those I could get into. Yeah. Oh, okay, and final point. In the instructional video, the girl said to maybe think about moving this up, look at the placement of it, and then maybe move it up a bit to see if you like the placement better. And I was like, I'm just going to follow what the instructions say. It's fine. But I hate it. I want it to move up 2 inches, or about an inch or so. I want it to be about here, but it's not. So I'll have to live with it. Yeah, so you're gonna see me trying to get everything into my bag, and then the video will be finished. I do have a 3-month subscription for this, so there is going to be a February unboxing, and in that I am going to show you whether or not I did any improvements to this one, and I'm also going to show you the project, the bonus project that came in this as well. So that'll be that February unboxing, and then a couple of weeks later I'm going to post that project with my opinions on it. So for February there will be 2 Sewers Club unboxings, and then for March there will also be 2 Sewers Clubs unboxings, and then from there I'm going to decide whether or not I want to continue getting these. Maybe it'll help me increase my sewing ability, which would be cool. But we'll just have to see. So yeah, stay tuned for me putting a bunch of stuff into these. Thanks for watching if you've made it this far. You know, like, subscribe, do those things if you like. Comment in the comment section what you thought of this project, what you thought I could have done differently. Feel free to mock me and my terrible cutting skills for the flaps. Don't mock me for my terrible sewing skills. I'm just learning, but I've been cutting fabric for the person who gave this to me for years and years and years. I've been cutting fabric, I don't know, since as long as I can remember. So I have no excuse on why these flaps are so wonky. All right, thanks again for watching, and yeah, I'll talk to you in another video. Bye.